morning, everyone. It's 8 a.m. here in Finland, and I'm ready to start my 24-hour design journey. This time, the keyword was draw. I got an idea about a Wild Wild West. Imagine the empty street in Wild Wild West town where two gunmen face each other. This is gonna shoot out. So draw. This is going to be a card game. Also, I'm participating this Tabletop Creator contest with this same game, with these same videos. My idea is that you have a deck of cards, and of course you have your 6-gun. So you have 6 cards in hand, perhaps some other cards, and the fastest drawer is the one who loses all their cards from their hand, so they have empty hands and they can draw. Yep, I have 24 hours. This is my 3rd time trying this kind of a challenge. We'll see what happens with this game. I call this the fastest gun in the West. This time I used my usual process where I start my game designs by writing down some notes. These notes usually contain table layout, list of components. There might be some questions, like in this case, I don't know the size of the draw pile. I write down the basic rules, how I think that the core of the game will function. And of course, also in this phase, I make decision what is the win condition of the game. After that, I might do some quick mock-up cards on pieces of paper. I usually have cut paper on my desk, so I can write down some template cards that I can use to test the game later on. Okay, I've been working with this game idea about an hour now. I have some self-made pen and paper cards, about 30 or so. Next, I'm going to test with these cards. Does this idea work? I find that these handmade cards are very fast way to figure out if the initial game idea is good enough to survive. I usually find different issues, different cards that I don't like using or are working somewhat wrong, and this is a great way to find out these things. Seems to work somewhat. Still some tuning. I'm happy how it works. After I'm sure that the basic game idea works well enough, I go to my Tabletop Creator and start making digital cards in this design program. I might give some basic layout, I think, about colors and fonts, but that's not the main thing at this point. The point is to get things going on, and something digital I might be able to use in Tabletop Simulator later on. But anyway, this should look like a game later on with this design. Also, I can make different versions easily in digital versions. In my card designs, I always use version variable so that I can track which version this card belongs, and I also include a date there so I can later on know when this was printed or designed. Another info I add on my prototype cards is card ID number to easily identify cards from the set. After 2 hours of progress, a short status update. it seems that I'm making surprisingly good progress. I'm still not sure what happens during today, but I have a basic layout or the basic design now gathered together. This is where I am right now. The easiest part has been done. The basic design is decided. Blueprint craft is here, and from this point forward it's just hard work to make content. Usually I create the initial content of the game directly in Tabletop Creator. So every card detail, name of the cards, action descriptions, stuff like that, I input it directly into the cards using the Tabletop Creator's tools. After that, I export the card details in Excel files or CSV and continue editing card details in table or sheet format. I find it much easier to process lots of cards in sheet format. I can use different formulas and stuff like that to handle masses. And then I just import this data back to Tabletop Creator and continue from that. It was quite easy and simple to take this all to Tabletop Creator. Just write this text and spell check, and I did some finishing there. But then the thing that took a bit more time is actually trying to come up with decent card names and all this creative process. Also, I've been thinking about the size of the game, and it seems that I might aim to 54 card game this time. Might want to show you some cards we have. So the aim of the game was that you have 6 cards in hand and 6 cards on table, including the draw card, which is when you play that you win. You must first empty your hand, and then you can start playing the cards on the table, and whoever gets to play the draw card, which must be your last card to play, first wins the game. Now let's see some of the cards I have here. The basic card is Get Ready, so it's only discard this card. Nothing special there. There should be around 10 of these on the deck. Then we have Switch Pallets. Draw a card into your hand and swap one card from your hand with one random table card belonging to one of your opponents. The player with the largest hand must play a card. It might be you as well, so it's an extra action. Switch places, swap random card from your hand with a random card from an opponent's hand. So it's not the time yet. So shuffle this card pile to the draw pile. Everyone draws a card to their hand and remove this card from the play. This is the only card, and so this card pile can be shuffled back as draw pile once maximum. All design work development is done digitally after this. I won't be doing any pen and paper versions, but I will be doing paper versions. I really like the Tabletop Creator's blueprint idea. Here I decided that I don't want to print full color versions in the beginning, so I made a new blueprint and deleted all the colors, so I got this black and white version of the game components cards in this case. So it was much faster and cheaper to print out this kind of cards than full color cards. Then I just cut them out. I find this quite relaxing phase. Then I can make grid sheet images that are used by Tabletop Simulator or Screentopgg to create digital versions of the game. It's been 6 hours since I started, so yes, I made a physical deck of initial cards. Time I created this ink save version. We'll see. Then I made a Tabletop Simulator versions. Usually the graphical design or the cards don't need to be so beautiful in this playtest period when I'm just designing the game, but it's a 24-hour design contest, so I wanted to make cards a bit better looking, so I found this great background template from stock images and this Wild Wild West font that I used to make these cards a bit more professional. I'm not a graphical designer or artist, but it's a bit better than it was. It's been 8 hours since I started my design with the fastest gun in the West. During the past 2 hours I've been going through the cards, playing game a bit in Tabletop Simulator, trying to find out problems. There are some problems and trying to fix them. I don't have written rules yet, but the cards have lots of text, and the main idea with the game will be that actual rules are quite short, but the rule is do what the card says. I changed the font. Actually, I downloaded this font from the internet and changed the background image, and it already looks much better, even though the text is all the same. I also updated the backside of the card. Also, I decided to make another blueprint that just contained the draw card, so that it's definitely a different card than the rest of the cards. Okay, for past 2 hours I've been doing a small, very minor card updates, and main thing has been the rulebook. And as always, the rulebook is the most difficult part of the game design. So it's very hard to write a decent rulebook, and I think that I'll be writing it at least the following 2 hours. Hopefully not, but it's totally possible that it takes that long. I made minor updates to cards. There are some colors for special cases. I added some corner cases, descriptions, and finally in the beginning this winning card draw was from the same blueprint as all other cards, so I set the count to 0 and created totally different draw card that should say that you are the winner, so it's the same on both sides. So for the rulebook, I find it very important that I can export every card as a single card image that I can use in pictures on the rulebook. The draft is ready. Now there are some clarification images. I've been proofreading this, And to be honest with everything, I've been using AI to do some grammar checking on this thing. That's actually the only thing that I've been using AI with my game designs. Still work to do with this rulebook. I'm going to make a tabletop simulator version. Then I'm going to make a web page for you where you can download all the stuff, print and play files. We'll be doing those in a letter size and also in A4 size. Okay, it's been 14 hours since I started this challenge, and 14 hours work straight with this game with very little breaks. So at this point I have to say that this is getting to me. I'm getting a bit tired. Currently I'm working with these different files. Here you can see that I have this is letter sized folded layout with 3mm bleed. Now I'm going to make same file with A4. Why you guys don't use A4 everyone, because that's what I use. So these are the files with two-sided two-sided prints. I have them here also. I'm trying to make actual paper prototypes before I go to sleep. Rulebook is about ready. Here we are, it's midnight. I've been designing this game, The Fastest Gun in the West, for past 16 hours straight. The basic game is done. Of course, rules are done. I have a website that you can browse at wannabeboardgamedesigner.com/the fastest gun in the West. And here we have, well, about the story, links to these videos, and most importantly, PNP download. Of course, there is tabletop simulator version waiting for you without sleep. So lots of Coke for me. As you can see, I'm not ready yet. There's still a lot to do. I'm making this physical prototype, cutting cards. What I've been spending my time with has been the website. It's completely ready now, available. Everything is available there. And one surprise for you is we have a Screentopgg version of the fastest gun in the West. There are your table cards. Every player has a hand, and if you want to give cards from your hand, you must put your hand down by pressing H. So now any player can take a card from your hand that they don't see the front size as you do as the player, and then take it back to your holding by pressing H. Anyway, if you go to my website, wannabeboardgamedesigner.com, just click the board games menu and you can find it there. Okay, I'm done. It's 3:30. All the materials I have made is now available on my website, and it's my time to go to bed. At this point, I say good night. Thank you for watching. Hello! I'm going through the rules of the game called The Fastest Gun in the West. This is a card game for 2 to 3 players. First, separate the 3 draw cards from the deck, then shuffle the rest of the cards. These are called action cards. There's a name of the action and instructions what to do when this card is played. And then deal each player 6 cards as hand cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then give each player 5 cards on the row here to the left from the draw card they should have in front of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's place this rest of the cards as a draw pile in the middle of the game area. Now, players may always look at their own hand cards, and they may, whenever they want, check what cards they have as the table cards. The aim of the game is to be the fastest gun in the West. And to do that, you must be first player to play the draw card here on the table. The thing is that you have to first get rid of the cards in your hand. You cannot play any of these cards on the table before your hand is empty. Then you cannot play draw card before you have played all of these table cards in front of you. Choose starting player. Use whatever method you see fit. If everything else fails, the starting player is the player who last saw Western movie. Players take turns starting from the starting player in a clockwise order. During their turn, player must play a card. If you have cards in your hand, you must play a card from your hand. If you don't have hand cards, you must play any of these table cards you have, not the draw card. Any of these. You can play the draw card as your last card. All the cards have some instructions how to work. So, basic turn might go like this. I start, I play get ready, which just says discard this card. So let's make a discard pile here. All discarded cards will get here. After I have played one card, one and only one, if the rules in the card won't say something else, I can check whatever cards I have here on the table and switch one card from my hand in place of one table card. So let's see. Well, there's this kind of a card. I don't want to keep it there. I take it in my hand and I choose one card from my hand and replace it there face down like so. Now it's the turn of the next player. They choose a scary stare. So it means that choose an opponent and the opponent must draw a card. So this player here would have to draw a card. But in this case, player may have a card that says you may play this card during your opponent's turn when they play a card, including draw. So, no you don't. We react with this card to here. So, This means that the opponent must take this card back into their hand and choose a different card to play. Of course, played cards go to discard pile. Now they choose to play, wait a second, and draw a card into their hand. This continues until the hand cards are depleted. After that, we can continue with these cards. After we have played all the cards in our table, we have only one card left. And when it's our turn, we play this one, draw, and we win the game. The game usually takes 15 to 20 minutes with 2 persons. Not really tested how long it takes with 3, but you can find it out. All the game materials can be found from my website, wannabeboardgamedesigner.com.